Good afternoon, kids. This is going to be take 5. I'm going to read y'all a story that I've written, and I want y'all to let me know what you think. And we're probably not going to be focusing on dogs because they don't want to be up here where they can get photographed. That's just going to be the story, and while you watch the pool, I guess. I need some feedback on this. Is it worth publishing? Would you read it? Would you read this book if I published it? You going to make me a millionaire writer, or am I just wasting my time? You'll see the crap on the bottom of the pool. Tomorrow's pool guy day. Anyway, in the notes below, in the responses below, what do you call that little thing down there where we write all of our stuff? I don't know. Maybe we'll get to see some hummingbirds come in. We're going to focus on that instead of just the pool. Anyway, in the responses below, tell me what you think. Is this worthwhile? Am I wasting my time? Do I have what it takes to be a writer? Would you buy my books? It's not a trick question. I need honest answers. Here we go. This is An Old Man and His Memories. This first short story is a prelude to Brenda's young life. She's a character in the book. And then we ignore her until she's 20 years old. I heard her, this is her dad talking. I heard her scream. It was the terrible scream of a child expressing, damn it. Take 6. An old man and his memories. I heard her scream. It was the terrible scream of a child expressing absolute fear. My first thought was rattlesnake. I was in the barn putting tools away when that piercing scream came. Brenda. I was used to hearing her screams, but this wasn't that same scream. It was a scream of terror. I'm used to hearing her screams when she's playing. This was different. I crashed into the barn door as I sprinted out of the barn and to her rescue. There was poor little Brenda, unconscious in the dirt, in the middle of the bullpen, the circle pen. Big Red was standing menacingly over her. He glared at me. He had that look that he always has when humans are in his pen. She hadn't gotten far into the round pen before he had attacked her. Was she dead? I didn't have time to check. I've told her since she was able to walk, never, never, ever go into Big Red's pen. Why she'd left the house and come down to the barn was beyond me. It was about 300 yards, and that's a long ways for a 4-year-old to go unguided. However, 1963 was a different time, and she was allowed to be more adventuresome than kids from in town were. Wondering why she would make that journey passed just as quickly out of my mind as it entered. I vaulted over the fence and charged right at Big Red. It startled him, so he backed off. I scooped up Brenda into my arms and held her limp little body as I headed towards the gate, holding her carefully in my arms. Try holding a limp 4-year-old and opening a gate at the same time that a bull is charging at you. It's not a walk in the park. Somehow I managed to get the gate closed and slammed shut before Big Red regained his composure and came thundering after us. I heard him crash into the fence. As I ran to the house, I shouted at Shirley to call for the Doc Horner. She was hanging laundry on the line and came running instead of heading to the house to make the phone call for the doc. What happened? She got into the pen with Big Red somehow. Apparently he's injured her. Go to the house and call for the doc. I didn't tell Shirley that I hadn't even checked yet to see if she was still alive. About half an hour later, Doc's Chevy truck came thundering up the road. By now, Brenda had regained consciousness, and Shirley was cuddling her on the porch. Let's get her inside and onto the table, Doc said. I'll examine her there. I'll just need to wash up first. I came from Clint's house. That mare of his is having trouble delivering her foal. Being a country vet and the doctor has its challenges. Taking care of animal babies is just as hard as it is taking care of human babies. Doc Horner didn't have much bedside manner. He tended to take charge and was blunt in his instructions. Get on board or get out of the way, he'd say. Brenda had a bruise on her shoulder and a huge knot on the side of her head. Big Red obviously hit her hard. Whether he'd used his head or kicked her wasn't clear. Either way, he'd hurt my baby. Hang on, went down too far. Damn it. Going from page to page is a pain in the butt. We're going to get there in a second. Brenda had a bruise on her head and shoulder, a huge knot on the side of her head, obviously hurt her. He'd hurt my baby. As was common in 1963, no further tests were run. Keep an eye on her and get her into Abilene to the hospital if anything changes. That was Doc's only advice to us. No additional tests, no additional advice, just accepted that some kids got polio and polio or typhus or whooping cough or injuries. They just died. We had a lot of sicknesses, childhood sicknesses that kids had to go through, and many children never made it beyond 5 back then. What a strange memory to start my story with. That was the story as told to me by Miss Brenda's dad some years ago. Now, in retirement, I sit under the oak tree in the backyard, sipping iced tea most days. I'm sitting under my Yopon Holly for the record. Got to be better in the movies though. My dream was to travel when I retired. Instead, I sit here with my memories. Life has a way of stealing your life and your mobility one day at a time. Some days, memories are all I have to enjoy. Just sit here, sip iced tea, and enjoy my memories. Who has the energy or money to travel anyway?